Good morning. My name is Catherine Kennedy. I'm the Managing Director in New South Wales in Australia for People-to-People recruitment, but very happy to be a guest host for P2P Live in the UK today. Our Group Managing Director, Mark Smith, is on a plane somewhere between one of our offices around the world, and I'm stepping in, which is always lots of fun. So look, what's on the agenda for today? We'll do our regular numbers section. We've got some data around the unemployment rate, which I'll share with you. We've got a number of jobs that the team are working on that need to be filled, some in the UK. We've also got some jobs to share with you if you're considering moving around the world and engaging with the rest of the People-to-People team or looking for work in other locations. And then, as always, we'll bring you the results of our Twitter poll for last week, and we will ask the Twitterverse once more a question for the week ahead. So that's the plan of attack. What we will do firstly is jump into it with the regular numbers section. Great. So what we've got on screen here is the unemployment rate for the UK, and it goes way back to the sort of early 70s, right through to the end of the December quarter last year. So you can see it's been a bit of a wild ride over the years, very high peaks in the sort of late 80s and early 90s. You can see the various economic cycles that we've gone through there, where the unemployment rate has really spiked. As of January this year, so as of 2023, the unemployment rate in the UK is 3.7%. That's a slight increase on the prior quarter, so it's 0.1% higher than it had been the 3 months prior to that. One of the other things that's interesting that you can't necessarily see in this data, but that certainly is a contributing factor, is that the number of people unemployed for up to 6 months has increased, and that is largely because of people in the age group of 16 to 24. So we're seeing an increasing number of longer term unemployed people in that very young workforce, and that's I guess showing that it's more difficult for people to get work in the early stages of their career. Encouraging news though, the employment rate, so the people actually in work, slightly increased. So it increased by 0.2% to 75.6%, and that could potentially be, I mean, there are people paid a lot more money than I am to speculate on these things, but potentially it could be the rising cost of living is meaning more people are needing to engage in the workforce, so that participation rate is up, which has increased that overall employment rate as well. But that's the numbers for today. We might jump into some of our hot jobs of the week next. So if you're in the UK, then we've got a couple of opportunities that the team's working across. The first one, and you've got the details on screen there, is for a legal secretary. It's in southeast of London. So we're looking for prior experience as a legal secretary. Strong communication skills, written and verbal, are very important. I think there's a range of areas of law that they'd be willing to look at. The details of the managing consultant are on the screen there, so you can reach out to Fadila, and her email and contact number is there. The next one that we have is in the southeast of London again. It's an auditor role that Sarah is working on. So need to bring that relevant auditing experience, need to be comfortable in a very fast-paced environment. It's quite a fast-paced environment that you'd be going into, and looking at about that £40,000 to £60,000 per year for that particular role. If, however, you are considering a move, so People-to-People's got offices, of course, in the UK, but also in Australia and in New Zealand. There are also opportunities to come and do a working holiday in different locations. And I'm in beautiful Sydney today. The sun is shining. I think it's going to be about 25 degrees. So I'm trying to do a bit of a plug for making a move over to the Southern Hemisphere. And we've got a couple of roles that we can showcase for you. There's one in New Zealand, I think, up first. Yep. So we've got a sales representative based in Auckland. So Shav Neal from our Auckland team would be the person you can talk to about that. You would need to start for this particular role the 1st of March. So maybe you already have friends or you know people who might be over in New Zealand, or if you're very close to making a move yourself, then this could be the role. Either way, if you are considering a move to New Zealand or to Australia, please reach out to the P2P team, and Shav Neal would definitely be a good contact for you in Auckland.
Hi LinkedIn, I'm on the hunt for an executive assistant to join our client, who are a leading supplier of architectural hardware products based in the eastern suburbs. You will be supporting the CEO, who is bubbly, down to earth, warm, friendly and cares about her staff. She requires someone who will match her energy, be adaptable to change, have a team player attitude and be highly organised and efficient. The role is suited to someone with a strong EA or administration background, but would also suit a legal secretary looking to move out of the legal industry, as you will be involved in the preparation of legal documents. This is a super exciting opportunity. They're growing fast and offer a great culture, a beautiful office and work-life balance. If you'd like to know more about this role, please call, email or DM me for a confidential discussion.
Brand new year, lots of new things to explore, possibly a new job. So Krystal from our Melbourne team is here to give us some tips on career tips for 2023. How are you, Krystal?
I'm good. I'm very good. You're speaking about the weather before. It's a glorious day here in Melbourne, 39 degrees, so maybe not for everyone, but very warm day here in Melbourne. Yeah.
Well, it's 39 now. It's probably going to be, storm come through in about 18, about 5 o'clock. Who knows?
I'm sure the Yarra will be 27 degrees, but I don't think I'll be jumping in anyway. So not quite as warm.
Yeah, exactly. So hit us up with some of these tips then for 2023.
Absolutely. So I've got 3 tips for you today. The first one is to jump out of your comfort zone. So I know that's a very scary thought for most, but my advice is to write down 3 things that make you feel uncomfortable in your current role, and plan how you're going to act on them. So it doesn't have to be huge. Baby steps will lead to changing your mindset and assist you in achieving those goals. My second tip is be proactive on feedback. So rather than sitting back and waiting for that review time, I would encourage you to ask for feedback, obviously making sure that it is that constructive feedback. So what you'll notice is people that are top performing in your business do tend to stay on top of their game and are consistently searching for ways to be better. So asking for feedback is only going to improve your skills further. And number 3 is don't keep doing what you've always done. As the saying goes, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. So change is difficult. We know that. If it wasn't, then we'd all be doing it. So ask yourself, what is it that stands in your way? Is it confidence? Is it qualifications? Is it time? And each of those roadblocks you can overcome, and often in conjunction with each other.
So we're almost at the end, and as always, we will bring you the results of our Twitter poll. So the poll last week that we put out to the Twitter sphere, which is on the screen in front of you there, is: has the rising cost of living affected your job search in 2023? And there's some interesting results here. So nearly 47%, 46.9% have said that yes, the rising cost of living has impacted their job search. They're actually looking for a new job. So I was quite surprised by the how high that number was. Nearly 22% saying, look, it hasn't impacted me. 19% has said, yes, it's meant that I will going to stay in my current job. So security is obviously important for people with the rising cost of living and rising interest rates. And 12% have said other. So hard to know exactly what it is that they're thinking there. But that's the results from last week. The question that we have for you this week, and please do jump onto Twitter. We really are interested to get your feedback and get a sense of what's happening in the market. And the question is around returning to the office. So lots of different organisations have got lots of different things that they're doing in this space. Over the last few years, has your employer introduced incentives to work more days in the office. So there's been some kind of incentive that's been introduced to try to get everyone to come back or to come back more regularly into the office. I'm very keen to hear from the Twitterverse and hear from you what your thoughts are there. So please jump on and vote, and we'll bring you the results next week. That brings us to the end of P2P Live UK for today. Thanks again for letting me host. Mark Smith will be back next week. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.